Ed is a force of nature. And we founded it in 2016, and it's grown into an amazing organization. And last year, received $525,000 in grants to study the goals. And also, I went to their annual meeting in Florida and they raised $15,000. And they do all kinds of great education programs and so on. I don't want to steal your thunder. I'll let you speak now, but no further objection. And Riley?
Yes.
You're the future.
Oh, thanks.
I know it. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. It's the only thing that ever has. Who said it? Me. I look at you here, thanks to Steve, Acer. Thank you for inviting me. Betsy, Bob, whole group. It's encouraging. It's very encouraging. As we sit here in the middle of nature, you very happy to be here for all of you, and especially the Eastern people of Travel Nation. WAOA Sun. It's a native language that means we are all related. All of us. Two-legged, four-legged, fin, feathered, a bird, those that crawl on the ground, those that crawl out of the ground. We're all related. And native students, indigenous people. And so to be here representing an organization called Alewife Cove Conservancy, working with you guys and meeting Maggie, right? It's an honor. And what Margaret Mead said is exactly true. It's the only way to get done. And that poem you read by Osgood, one of my favorites. No, this is how it gets done. So I'm going to talk a little bit about myself, not because I want to, but it's part of what you do. When you grab the flag, you run charge. You know, someone has to pick up the flag and run charge. Jill and myself have been together 51 years. Right? Married 51 years.
Sandbox buddies.
And we've been business partners working on the home for 51 years. So for Jill, it's 750 years. And we've been environmentalists in an environmental wellness business for 51 years. And we born and brought up in New London. Literally, I grew up in Alewife Cove. Right? You could say I was baptized in the waters. But we also live in Waterford, right near the Cove. And our official home is 40 years ago in New Hampshire, southern New Hampshire. Okay, so we live in two places. And up in New Hampshire, we live on a lake, Pool Pond, beautiful lake, in the base of Mount Monadnock, the most climbed mountain in the world. And our house faces it. And in the 90s, we started the Pool Pond Protection Association. No one ever had it, but we started it, you know, and it's still going strong. And I worked with the director of limnology for the state of New Hampshire. And limnology is the study of water bodies. And we created the volunteer lake assessment program. So when you're talking about Secchi dishes and the oxygen levels and all of that, I got involved. And it's grown into a very statewide organization. And one of the reasons we started it was because of a thing called milfoil. Invasive species. Invasive. And now we got hydrilla. So there's a lot of things to be concerned about on this beautiful little pond. Now it's interesting that David talks about the Alewife. Alewife Cove is an estuary. Comes off Long Island Sound. This is Ocean Beach. You all know Ocean Beach? Yeah. Voted one of the top 25 beaches in America last 3 years in a row. And Alewife Cove comes out with and is the dividing line between Waterford and New London. It's a natural border. Cove is about 3/4 of a mile long, 500 feet at its widest, and maybe 10, 12, 15 feet at deepest, right? So here's Waterford, here's Harkness, Waterford Beach, Ocean Beach, New London, right? So when I was a kid, we were in this cove all the time. We were fishing. Alewife, you could scoop them with a net. Blue shell crabs every night, crabbing bushel baskets. Flounder, right? All the time. So what happened? Well, these two-legged humans have something to do with it. I don't know about you, but has it been hot lately? Right? So when it gets hot, and hotter than normal, because we put a match to the stuff that comes out of the ground, and it heats up the atmosphere like it is. The ocean waters get warm and things change all over the place. Everything in the universe is connected to everything else. That we can agree upon. Alewife Cove suffered a major event in 2012 with Hurricane Superstorm Sandy. And the storm came in and it blew through Waterford Beach, breached the dunes in 3 places, and it dumped the Waterford Beach sand into the drainage of the cove. See that? See that? That's why the Alewife is still flourishing. Here, they haven't banned it yet, but there's an amendment right now to get that done, right? Important, because it's part of. Anyways, it's the only cove in the world we know named Alewife Cove. Right? And days gone by, when Jill was young, this used to freeze.
Ice skate.
It's the ice skate on this. More. Everything changes. And over here on the Waterford side, you see all the salt flats, right? All the marshland, the salt flats. Very important. So, Hurricane Sandy blows in. Ocean Beach parking lot's 4 feet underwater. I said to Jill, looking at it, and saying, we got to do something. We got to get this fixed. And we started the Alewife Cove Conservancy. Came out of, lightning bolt, let's do it, and started like this. Grabbed a bunch of people, put them on the back porch, started talking, throwing $5 or $10, get some good people on your board, and just start. Just get that somebody doing nobody, everybody, whatever. Right? And we grew it, and then we put some good people on the board, and we incorporated it. It became a 501c3, which isn't a real hard thing to do. Now, do we have any attorneys here? Right?
Okay.
I appreciate, believe my daughter's an attorney. But there are attorneys that can help. To get the stuff done. But once you get it up and running, you get the good word you can get a lot of money. And you need that. Not critical, but you want. So we put a good board together, and we have people that are working hard, and then we started holding fundraisers. And I'll tell you what, if you want to go to a good party, November 9th, right now on your calendar, it's a party down at Ocean Beach, Port Starving. We do the best band live, the best food, best auction. It's like the party that kicks off the whole Thanksgiving's Christmas party season. We had 450 people last year.
It unifies Waterford and New London.
And it brought Waterford and New London community people together.
It's ideally.
Everybody's got a story like I do about Alewife Cove. Everybody, whatever you did there. You had your first kiss there. You caught your first fish there. You swim. Every 4th of July, we have a flotilla. The tribes from the north meet the tribes from the south. In other words, you got a kayak, you got a canoe, you got a paddleboard, you got a raft. Everybody meets at 10 o'clock right here in this basin. And you will have 70, 80 kayaks and canoes We all, hoping it's high tide, kayak down out to the mountain, have watermelon, all come back up, game on. People love it. But that fundraiser raises money, brings people together. Now I'm looking at this spot here and I'm thinking, they're 10, they're over there. Oh, maybe we bring in Springsteen. What do you think? You tell us, I don't know, what do you think? But we needed funds, because I said to my friends, look, we're not grabbing your backhoe and 2 shovels and going down there to dredge this. You gotta get the studies done. You gotta have the data. You gotta have the organization. You gotta have the structure. You gotta build a pot to receive the funds. That's what I said, right from there. We built the organization, we incorporated, put good people on the board. So let's go. We started writing for grants. So the grants took years, didn't happen overnight. I got the mayor of New London, who's a very good friend of mine, and the first selectman of Waterford, very good friend of mine. You know, we're on both sides together, shaking it, and they got them all. Got the politicians on board. Got the state politicians. Right? We got everybody rolling the boat the same direction. And you know what? Thank you for that monarch is blowing its wings over there. We brought the people together in a spirit of harmony. That's the mastermind principle. It's an ancient principle. Coordination of information, effort, and knowledge in a spirit of harmony between 2 or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. My purpose was singular. Get the cove dredged. Big controversy on dredging. Big EPA, Army Corps, this one, that one. Let me tell you something. I can have eyes. You have eyes. Come down here at low tide. And this is Jill walking an Alewife Cove at the mouth.
Where it used to be water.
Well, it used to be water and flowing. So, no controversy on my end. Needs to get dredged. The beach, back on the beach. Get the flow going. Why? Because it's like an artery. Twice a day, tides come in and out. Feeds the estuary. When it's not flowing, you have erosion of the embankments. You have silting, which is way beyond it should be. Hurricane Sandy, superstorm, there may be more of them. And a whole lot of other ramifications. One of the ramifications that no one wanted to talk about, this is interesting. When we were kids, we walked all through this cove barefoot. Oh, hawk. That's about it. Oh, there's one. Oh, that was for dinner. All right? Up here in this main basin, at the bottom of it is, I'm going to give a word. I want to see if anybody knows the word. Anybody know this word? Sapropel. Who's heard the word, Reggie? Anyone else? Notice. Not here, what else? I didn't know about it either. One of my board members, Tim Bizel, is a walking coach. He started 3 aquatic schools. He's written over 800 technical papers for all sorts of organizations up and down the East Coast. He was involved in the first dredge of Alewife Cove back in '87, when they did it minimally, and he's on our board. He said, Ed, there's a problem. You don't have that problem. I don't think. It's up here. There's rotting organic matter at the bottom of that basin. It's all leaves and organic matter that's been there. It's called black mayonnaise. You go walk around there like we do now, like we used to do, you'll sink in the mud. Look, river mud up to here.
How do you get rid of that?
Dredge! Because that,
Down in our area.
because Sapropel, in the old days, the farmers used it for fertilizer. They buy it in Europe. It's phenomenal. But no one wanted to touch it with a 10-foot pole. And I said, I have a 20-foot pole. And we're going to touch it. And two weeks ago, Sunday, I was on the front cover of the day paper. Right, Steve? Saw that. I'm walking out here. And that's where the word sapropel was introduced to the world. Because that black muck mayonnaise, on a hot day like today, down here, in this basin, at the right tide, will smell like rotten eggs. Because it off gases sulfates in nitrogen. And when you have that, this turns brown and ugly because it's not flushing itself twice a day. It's stopped up. And I'm telling you this, the alewife, blue shell crab, and the flounder, you're lucky. See that? You like your shirt. You just thought that shirt was a flower.
Yeah.
They smell one iota of that. It's like, see ya, don't want to be ya. They go right by the gold. It's a big problem. Huge problem. Not only the silt, but the sapropel. Now, my thing is, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Right? So what the EPA is finding out now, what do we do with it? Well, first of all, farmers will die for it. It's phenomenal fertilizer. But that's a long way off. I'm shooting for the stars and hoping I end up in orbit, right? They're now looking at thin layer deposit. Because one of the things with climate change is everybody's wondering how you can protect salt marshes from being eroded away, which is what happens. On big storms, when the cold does not, on full moons, and the cold doesn't release properly because it's jammed up, all this gets underwater and flooded. So now the thinking is, according to my experts on my board, he's written many papers on it, is this sapropel is called thin layer deposit. You put it on top of this, and you help build up the salt flats. And Waterford does have a whole commission looking at all of this to build up the salt flats. We know we have a problem. What a huge problem.
So they brought the report in Rhode Island. They built up the salt flats.
See, Rhode Island and Massachusetts are doing it. It's not like it's not being done. Connecticut, EP, well, guess what? Front page of your paper, above the fold, that was the story last Sunday. Here we are, here we come. So we have different situations going on, but it's really the same. It's the people that get organized, get together, throw in some money, throw in some time, effort, have some fun, bring the community together to get it done. Because, Riley, future generations aren't going to have a cove or a pond. Now, the invasive species, we have invasive species on the embankments. Not in the cove, but on the embankment, other than sapropel. So we do have that kind of problem. I just feel it's important. And by the way, that painting, that picture in my hat is signed by Weiland. You know Weiland? I hooked up with Weiland. If you go on our website, you look at the video. I was with Weiland all weekend, and very cool guy, man. Very deep, powerful artist around the world. All famous. He came to New London and painted the Wailing Wall, so I was asked by his foundation in the city of New London to dedicate the wall. The video's on there. It's a 6-minute video. There's also a time-lapse video of him painting that wall all weekend. So it was a great honor. So our foundation is hooked up with the Weiland Foundation. We signed a hat and some other things. So this is a drone picture looking out from the back out over Ocean Beach. Beautiful picture. And I took this picture not long ago. This is the mouth of the cove coming in. Right? That's a Waterford Beach. Yeah, from Waterford Beach. It's a beautiful place. It moves your heart. You jump in, you feel like you're renewed. Right? But you're not going to get the alewife back. You're not going to get the flounder back on blue shells until you clean it up. So, you know, when I see an organization like this, I'm thinking, why not join forces? You know, having the Eastern Pequots on your board, it's a powerful, you know, it's a sovereign nation. They've been around a long time. The oldest reservation in the country, 1683, is right here. I mean, but to power up these groups together, 90, I mean, that's how you get it done. That's what these politicians listen to. You know, they want to know how many votes you got. And they listen to that stuff, am I right? Or it's how the game works, right? So the Long Island Sound Futures Fund, the Long Island Sound Stewardship Fund, the Community Foundation of Eastern Connecticut, they all contributed to the studies we just launched, which were about putting it all together with in-kind and everything else. We have about $575,000 worth of studies taking place. That beats me and you. Yeah. Okay. We related to hire top environmental consultancy firms and quality cases all over the world. These guys are top shelf. So then you get the studies done. Then you go to the deep, and you go to EPA, Army Corps. Politicians say, "Here's the studies. Now we're applying for the money to get it dredged." Once we get it dredged, we believe that the light will come back in and out. We believe that things will start to happen. That's my story.
I think it's really important. Edward does a great job of letting people know that Alewife Cove exists. I think you have to be vocal, present, make some noise, get in the paper, have events, go to your town meetings, let them know that you're here, because the more you're recognized as an entity, even though you are an entity, the more buy-in you're going to have. And so, we came from nothing, and now we are something. But I mean, Edward is diligent about that. He has great relationships with, the newspaper.
There's some new ones today.
Yeah, exactly. It's really the alliance thing, and being vocal is really key.
Up in these parts in New Hampshire, there was a great philosopher studying Ralph Waldo Emerson. You ever heard of him? He said something that affected me. He said, "Extraordinary people are ordinary people caught on fire with a burning desire." Right? See that body of water out there? That's your purpose. You understand the mastermind working in harmony? Not letting just somebody do it. Everybody does a little bit. No one can stop that from a bit. It's America. Love my country. Huh? It's education.
Now, I had no idea that stuff over by my dock was dangerous like that.
Well, I'll tell you this about saprotec here. It's rotting organic matter, and it's part of nature. But so isn't Supersonic Sandy that blocked the flow. If that wasn't blocked, that stuff flows out to the ocean, gets reabsorbed, right? You see how everything's connected to everything else? Right? So, you know what? There's always somebody storming the castle at some point. You always have obstacles. There's always somebody. I mean, that Alewife that swims up to the dam, you know what he says? Damn, that dam. So put a fish ladder there, right, if you can. Right? Do what you can, right? I mean, the invasive species, that's something you got to keep an eye on. I don't have a real answer for that other than vigilance and volunteerism.
Yep. And didn't we have, though, at the public boat launch, every boat was inspected?
On the lake ramp here, man, we put up the sign, make sure the signs were put up. We went a little farther, we banned jet skis.
Well, yeah,
they go into holes, they disturb the rooms, and all the bass. But anyways, we had volunteers and monitors, because the way the species of hydrilla or milfoil travel is boats going from pond to pond to pond. We know. I mean, that's an extra step, but volunteerism. Someone's got to say, clean your boat, try your boat, clean your engine.
Well, I see people cleaning their boats all the time over here. Because I live right across the boat launch, and they just bring their boat in, and I'm like, I've been there for a couple of years now, and I try and I hit the horn. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? I scream out to stop doing that, and they run out. But that's where
they're cleaning their boats and throwing it back in the river.
Yeah.
You need to sign it.
They run their boats and get it out. Yeah.
Put a big sign. You got to get serious.
They have signs, but camera maybe, or I don't know.
It's not an easy fight. It really isn't.
Well, and when you're in and out real quick, it's hard to like.
Mine is with tape. Unfortunately, tape. Tape wants all 117 boat launches to look identical towards the signage. And so the fact that they finally said, yeah, you can print your own hydrilla sign and post it was a huge step for them, because we've had a battle with them before.
Yeah.
And yes, boats come in from out in the sound, and they run their jet skis, come in and clean out their engines.
Right.
Yeah, and there is no mandatory program in Connecticut, because the legislature does not have the will to fight the boating club. And that's where we need to be a voice.
And that's why you get your state senator.
That's the only way to make it change.
She's
Yeah.
a fierce force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and so,
That woman's powerful. And you gotta go there as a force and say, look, this is no joke. We can't wait 5 years to let this lake get polluted. We gotta do this now. And he brings that honey back to the hive up in Hartford. That's where your political power comes in.
And she's chair of the appropriations committee.
Right? Very powerful woman.
She's a friend of the tribe.
There you go. I know she is.
Yeah.
and the representative for us actually is Greg Howard, and he represents both Ledyard and North Stonington. Just when they redistrict, this part of Ledyard was redistricted to Greg Howard.
Is he a good guy? Is he part of you guys yet?
No.
Who knows
He's
Greg
got a
Howard here?
different agenda.
Who knows Greg Howard?
I know him superficially, but not.
You don't know? Say it, because I'm gonna be embarrassed.
You're embarrassed for one reason. I'm not embarrassed for third.
Greg Howard is a good guy.
They all have their own priorities,
He
and,
has his issues too.
and this is not their priority. But we have to make it their priority.
That's
There's the
right
point.
there. That's the
That's what we need.
Squeaky wheel gets oiled.
Yeah, he's got votes right there.
He's your, what, state representative?
Yeah, he's the state rep.
State rep, right?
Yeah.
Then represent us. It's a serious asset to the community. It's a very vital part of the history of the tribal nation and of this area. Greg, I don't know what your politics are, but here's a group of 50 people that want representation. Because one thing he wants to do, he wants to be voted in next time.
He was invited. He received the invitation. They all did. Heather Summers, Senator Austin said she might come. Rick Howard. I invited everybody.
Do they have a
The first selectman, Bob Carlson, Mayor Allen.
Do they have a website?
Who?
Any of these people?
So the state.
I'm just making
Yeah.
sure, we're still sorry.
Oh, thanks.
We have to, people would have loved to hear you. We'd like you to come to the next one.
Yeah.
Sorry, Heather, you couldn't make it.
Yeah.
This is a priority. Yeah, but this is a priority for us. Turn your face toward
You
the.
know, I'm looking at Warren over there. How many years were you involved? Yeah, in this organization? Here you go. Say no more. I'm looking at you, Riley. 35 years from now. Let's meet back here. With about 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 of your friends. That's the power, man. It's the only way I know how to get it done. And I take my hat off to you guys. You did it. You're doing it. There's a lot of potential. It's not just about all the work. Have some fun, too. Like, get a fundraiser. Maybe we join fundraisers together.
You need a fundraiser.
Yeah. People love it tonight. They're going to eat dance party. Right?
You know Bruce Springsteen today?
We'll get to them. I love to thank Bruce very much, and I left a few things that we've accomplished in, you know, print up your document that, what are you accomplished in 24, 23, and 24? Here's one for ours. Use it. You know, as a guide, whatever. But
Yeah, thank you.
I'm with you. Steve, thanks for inviting me, and you ever want to go on a kayak trip, follow that guy and try to do it. Figure it out. Try. Trust me.
Well, Ed, thank you so much. Inspiration.
Yeah.